Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. Today we also have an interesting topic to discuss, but before we go into details, let's look at this example of the topic. We have the sentence Ma kuntu li akdhiba. This simply translates to I wasn't meant to lie, or I wasn't supposed to lie. So when you look at this, you see that this is a negative statement. I was not supposed to lie. I was not meant to lie. Now our focus today should be on this lam which is carrying kisra, the lidye li akdhiba. And secondly, why is the word akdhiba carrying fatha? If we recall, in the very previous episode, we discussed about lam talil, which is the lam of explanation, the explanatory lam, where we gave lots of examples and said words like jalastu li astariha, I sat down in order to rest. If you had followed that lesson, you may be thinking that this li we have here is the same thing with that lam. If you think that, if that is your thought, then you are wrong, because this lam is a different lam. This lam is called lamul jahud, which is the negative lam. The what? The lam of denial, the lam of negation. MashaAllah. Now, why do we call this lam the lam of negation? It is because it usually appears with words like ma kana or lam yakun. So you can see in the example sentence I gave to you, I said ma kuntu, and kuntu is a derivation from the word kana. Kana is for he was. Kuntu, I was. So lam yakun, he wasn't. Ma kana, he wasn't. You understand? So this lam, since it usually comes with ma kana or lam yakun, which is a negative phrase or clause, therefore the lead here is called lamul juhud. And what is the work of this lam? That is what our discussion will basically be about. You recall that I had told you in the previous lesson that sometimes a present tense verb which is originally meant to be carried in fatha, which we call the indicative case, the raf'u case, sometimes could be made to be in the subjunctive case, the nasbu case, ending with fatha. And we said the reason this would happen will be based on these four particles an, lan, idhan, k. When these particles appear or precede a present tense verb, what happens is that they change the present tense verb into carrying fatha. Like I can say idhan adhaba, therefore I am going, or therefore I will go. So the word adhaba there is carried in fatha. These are the only reasons that make a present tense verb to carry fatha. But when you look at the example sentence I gave to you, where I said ma kuntu li akdhiba, I wasn't meant to lie. The word akdhiba is a present tense verb. Then why is it carrying fatha when you cannot see an, lan, idhan, k there? None of these four words are mentioned in before the word akdhiba. Now this, you can see that the word akdhiba is appearing immediately after the word li, which is lamul juhud, the lam of negation. And the only reason, after studies and also pondering over what could have happened to change this, we have seen that the only thing that has happened there is that an, just as we mentioned in the previous episode, an is latent, is applied here. So we are saying that the sentence where I said ma kuntu li akdhiba, it is originally ma kuntu li an akdhiba, which means I wasn't supposed to lie. So we can conclude by saying that when this lam of negation, which usually accompanies makana or lam yakun or the derivation, whenever it appears, the present tense coming after it will be in the subjunctive case by the applied an, meaning that the an is there, only that it is hidden. Now we are still in our book An-Nahul Wadih in the book 2, and we are on the topic nasbul mudari bi an al-mudmar, making the present tense verb to carry fatha by an applied and we are on the number 2, which is ba'da lam ta'lil, when it appears after lam juhud, after the lam of negation. Here we have some examples to look through before we go into detailed explanation. We have ma kana as-sadiqu liyakhuna sadiqahu, which means the friend wasn't supposed to betray his friend. That is, the friend is not meant or was not meant to betray his friend. Number 2, we have ma kanat at-tuyuru litusjana fil aqfas. The birds are not meant to be caged in the cage or to be arrested in the cage. You can see the word litusjana carrying fatha. Number 3, we have lam yakun ash-shurutiyyu liyasriqa. The policeman is not meant to steal or wasn't meant to steal. Number 4, we have lam akun li urafiqal ashrar. I am not meant, or I wasn't meant, I'm not meant to accompany or to befriend the evil people. Now let's come to the detailed explanation. Unzur ila al-af'al al-mudari'ah. It is saying that you look at the present tense verbs. The word yahuna, tusjana, yasriqa, wa urafiqa. These four words. Fil amthilati sabiqa, in the previous examples, tajidu kullan minha makrunan bilami. You see that each of these present tense verbs from the 4 examples above, you see that each of them are appearing with lam. This lam, laysat hiya lam at-ta'lil as-sabiqa. This is not the explanatory lam which you have explained in the last episode, link placed above. لأنها لا تفيد أن ما بعدها علة في حصول ما قبلها. Why? How do we know that this lam is different from the lam al-ta'lil, the explanatory lam? It is because this lam is not showing that what happens previously is a reason, or what happens ما بعدها علة في حصول ما قبلها. It is not showing that what comes after the lam is a reason for the achievement of what happens before. Because if it was lam ta'lil, we simply say jalastu li astariha, I sat down in order to rest. So what comes after lam there, which is astariha, rest, it is the reason why I sat. Now wa innama hiya lamun ukhra, this is another different type of lam. إذا تأملتها, if you should study it, في كل الأمثلة التي وردت فيها, in each of the examples where the lam has appeared, وجدتها مسبوقة دائما بكان المنفية وما تصرف منها. You will see that this lam, this type of lam, if you study it very well, you see that it is usually coming after ma kana, or the derivatives of ma kana, like lam yakun, ma kuntu, lam akun, and the rest of them. وَلِوَقُوعِ هَذِهِ اللَّامِ دَائِمًا بَعْدَ النَّفِي, because this lam, it always appears after negation, سُمِّيَتْ لَامَ النَّفِي, therefore we call it the lam of negation, أو لام الجحود, or the lam of denial. وَإِذَا تَأَمَّلْتَ وَآخِرَ الْأَفْعَالِ الْمُضَارِعَةِ, and if you should look critically at the last letters of each of the present tense verbs, بعد هذه اللام في الأمثلة السابقة, which appear after this lam in the previous examples, وجدت كلا منها منصوبا, you will find out that each of the present tense verbs which come after this lam, they are in the subjunctive case carrying fatha. ولكنك لا تجد أداة من أدوات النصب التي تنصب المضارع. But when you look at this present tense verb and see that they all are appearing with a fatha at the end of it, you will also see that the 4 particles which usually make a present tense verb to carry fatha, they are not where to be seen. They are nowhere to be found. ولا بد من أن يكون هذا الحرف المحذوف هو أن. And must undoubtedly this omitted particle is the particle an, which is hidden. لأن المعنى لا يستقيم بتقدير غيره من النواصب. Because if you decide to place any of the other subjunctive particles like lan, kay, idhan in after the lam juhud, you will see that it doesn't stand. So the conclusion will be that the only word, the only particle of subjunctive that can be placed there is the word an. ولما كانت أن لا تظهر بعد لام الجهود كان إدمارها واجبا. And since the lam, the an, and this an cannot appear to be wrong for us to say ما كنت لأن أكذب. This is not correct. Therefore, the an, it is compulsory that it should be made hidden and latent. It should not be made to appear, unlike the an which appears in the lam tali. As for this negative lam, you cannot put an after it. So the conclusion is that when you use the lam nafi or the lam juhud, the present tense verb should carry fatha by the applied an. Now we have a rule to simplify this for us. The rule states that ينصب الفعل المضارع بأن مضمرة وجوبا. The present tense verb is made to be in the subjunctive case carrying fatha by the applied an compulsorily. The an must be applied compulsorily, it must be hidden. بعد لام الجهود, as long as it is appearing after what? لام الجهود, the lam of denial, the lam of negation. So with this, we have been able to understand what the lam al-juhud is. The lam of negation, the negative lam, and this lam, it usually carries kisra, and it appears before a present tense verb, and also it is usually used in a sentence which is negative, having ma kana, lam yakun, or the other derivatives of kana that we have. And when this happens, the present tense verb will be made to carry fatha, and lastly, the fatha there, it is appearing because there is an applied and which compulsorily should be hidden. With this, we come to the end of this lesson. Make sure you form lots and lots of sentences by yourself so you can understand this topic better. The more you study, the easier it becomes when it comes to understanding. Make sure you like, share with your friends, and do not forget to drop comments at the comment section. Don't forget to hit on the join button to join our membership for members only content. Until we meet again, jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum.